The scene, the 1920s, the height of the Prohibition era in America. The Mafia rules the streets, the cops, and even the government. Mobs and gangs fight over America's cities, leading to more than one St. Valentine's Day massacre. It's the anime 91 Days seeks to bring a fictional version of the chaotic period to life and tells a fitting story of betrayal and revenge. 91 Days excels at showing the lengths revenge will drive a man, and how everyone around him, both innocent and guilty, will suffer. In this video, I'll take a look at the anime, discuss the main character's journey and fall in his quest for revenge, as well as make a discussion of revenge itself. Before that, I'm Anime Lore. I typically make videos on anime related to history, story, and more. There'll be major spoilers for the show, so you've been warned, and if you want to watch the show first, do that and come back to the video. Also, most of the mob families are Italian American, which is represented in the dub with accents, and I think that's cool. 91 Days' main character is Angelo Laugusa, who goes by Angelo Bruno as an alias. Fair note, all these names I'm going to butcher, I apologize. But I'll refer to him by Angelo as it is his real name, and it's easier to pronounce. Angelo Laugusa, as a child, witnessed the murder of his father, Testa Laugusa, as well as his mother, Elena, and his younger brother, Luce. Did I mention this is also on Angelo's birthday? Yep. It's not enough to have your family killed. It's on your birthday, too. Anyway, Angelo only lives because he and his brother had already been in hiding when the attackers arrived. Angelo escapes their house and gets away after one of the attackers hesitates and misses. Angelo initially has no answers for who his family's murderers are and chooses to disappear from both his friend Corto and his potential hunters. During this time, Angelo is lost. His only reason for living becomes survival, pickpocketing to make a living. Angelo's disappearance ends when he receives a letter giving him the name of his family killers, the Venetti Mafia family. Once he has this list, Angelo returns to his hometown of Flawless, a small town near the Canadian border used for smuggling alcohol. Angelo seeks revenge against those on the list, most of all Don Venetti, who organized the Laugusa's murder. But who is Don Vincent Venetti, and why did he kill Angelo's family? As it would turn out, both Don Vincent and Angelo's father, Testa, were part of the Morena family, with Testa having been the family's accountant. At the time, another family, the Galicia, who controlled Chicago, were attempting to exert influence into Morena's turf. There seems to have been a contested issue with the Morena family, particularly between Testa and Vincent. Vincent feared the Galicia would destroy the Morena family, along with his wife and children. Believing he was justified and out of fear, he betrayed his friend, thinking it was for the best, only to regret his actions later in life when it was already too late. The other two listed are Nero, the one who hesitated, and Vincent's son, as well as Vano, the one who shot Angelo's father and a friend of Nero, both 14 about at the time. So, also just your average take your son to work day. What Angelo didn't know after receiving the letter, though, was the man who sent it was also there that night, a one Gonzo Allere, who was known as uncle to Nero. The uncle had hoped Angelo would cause trouble and allow him to coup the Don. The uncle's betrayal shows us how easy in the world of Mafia betrayal works. After helping betray Testa, he was more than willing to betray Vincent as well, which would likely incite revenge from the remaining Venettis, although the uncle does receive what he deserves in the end. With this information, though, Angelo returns, and his first action is to use his friend Corto's bootleg booze to gain in with the Venettis. He hopes to get close to them so he can find and kill those responsible for his family's murder. He uses this connection despite knowing Corto hates the Mafia. Eventually, he's offered, though, a chance to join the Venetti family, and takes on a hit job against the Orco's family's frontman, Fango. He fails at this job, however, but they manage to capture Fango's underling, who happens to have previously killed Vano's driver during an interception along the border. Vano uses this to execute the underling and take revenge right in front of his driver's grave. So much so, he gives Angelo the perfect opportunity to kill Vanno by letting his guard down by being completely alone. While Angelo's plan to pin the murder of Vanno on the underling fails, other events which force Nero to go on the run make this irrelevant. Here, Angelo goes along, intending to betray them later, but inadvertently, Angelo and Nero become almost friends. Nero comes to like Angelo and trusts him until the very end. Angelo's desire for justice at this point has become something entirely else. He wanted to make them suffer way more than he wanted justice. As part of this, Angelo drives Nero into a war with his brother Freight over the family, and in the end, Angelo manipulates Freight into a shootout with Nero that Freight couldn't even win as Angelo removed the gun's bullets. This points back to Vincent's betrayal of Testa as well. Freight is manipulated by Ronald Glacier, who had married into the Venettis, interfering in the wrath of the Glacier who want Nero dead. Just as his father before him, this fear pushes him into a rash action of attempting to murder his brother and inadvertently tear apart his family. Ronald Glacier too meets his end by fear, as Angela manipulates Fio Venetti, the wife of Ronald, into murdering Ronald by convincing her that Ronald was going to murder her brother in the name of a truce. Both Fio and Freight were innocents. They were not responsible for the murder in any way, but they suffered all the same thanks to both Angelo and Don Vincent. To Angelo, that didn't matter. He didn't care. And to Vincent, it was his actions of bending to the Glacier in the first place which allowed them to marry into the Venetti, and which convinced Freight that the good of the family, the Glaciers had to be pleased, even at the cost of the family. His entire revenge culminated in one big climax where Angela would use the Glacier to destroy the Venetti, thus ensuring none survived. I won't go into super detail in case you ignored my spoiler warning, as I think the end should be experienced without major details. Long story short though, months of preparation, 91 days to be exact, allowed Angelo to set up the Glacier into a position where they were manipulated into seeking revenge against the Venettis. Following this, the Glacier hold nothing back and destroy the entire family. Despite this, Angelo kills neither Don Vincent nor Nero, letting both suffer knowing everything for them is over. However, Don Vincent's illness, along with the stress of the situation, causes him to pass away. Nero escapes the Glacier's wrath and captures Angelo, who doesn't resist. Nero, however, for some reason can't kill him immediately. He became friends with him. He trusted him. He didn't want to kill him. Angelo realized at the end everything had been pointless. He didn't feel any better after achieving revenge. Now he just wanted it to be over. Justice for the murder of his friend Corto in the name of gaining revenge. Seemingly, this is delivered as Nero does capture Angelo, who doesn't resist, and after several days of a drive, kills him at the beach along the Atlantic Ocean. I assume as this does happen off screen and thus leaves it somewhat to the viewer's imagination. Although Nero also wants to doesn't want to kill someone who he had trusted and was a friend. Angelo is likely dead. Angelo telling Nero at the end he didn't want to kill him. Think carefully, then walk with purpose. The faster you rush out, the more likely you are to trip and fall. It's ironic that these words were spoken by Don Vincent. So many characters, including Vincent, suffered and died by not following these words. Vincent himself, out of fear, betrayed his friend, and unbeknownst to him, this would lead to his own family's killing each other and the destruction of his family by Angelo. This in turn causes suffering and motivates others to cause more suffering and revenge. Francis Bacon once said, "In revenge a man is but even with his enemy, but in passing it over he is superior, for it is a prince's part to pardon." In other words, it's easier to give in to emotion and seek revenge. The rational seek justice, not revenge, although many may not be able to gain true justice. But what then is justice? if not a fitting punishment for the crime. The biblical quote, eye for an eye, as Gandhi said, may leave everyone blind, but it is certainly better than having innocents suffer. If revenge were to ever be any way close to justice, then it would be this: those who are guilty are punished as they deserve and no more, and those who aren't guilty are spared. And as such, was Angelo ever justified for seeking his revenge? His family was murdered, and Vincent wasn't going to be punished by the police, so maybe. But he got innocents involved, and so any justification went out the window with that. And on further analysis, Angelo might have realized, while Vincent was guilty, Nero wasn't. He didn't kill anybody. He got pulled in by his father, and even Vano couldn't be blamed as much, due to him being a teenager and probably not thinking straight. What he should have done, I'm not sure. Certainly not get his friend, or those not even on the list, involved. This isn't to say revenge is justified. Instead of revenge, justice should be delivered by those who should give it out, and not by the victims, even if it's not a perfect world where justice isn't always fulfilled. It's a sad irony that in an alternate timeline, Nero and Angelo likely would have grown up as friends. Instead, Lawless is torn apart. Don Vanetti's dead. Freight Vanetti's dead. Corto, Angelo's friend, is dead. Theo's emotionally destroyed and in hiding, and nothing was changed. Angelo's family is still gone. Nothing will bring them back. His revenge proved to be for nothing, and in the end, he let himself die, having nothing to live for anymore. I hope this was interesting, and I encourage you to watch the anime if you still haven't yet. It's a great watch, and the dub does have period Italian American accents, although I mostly did watch the sub. And if you like the video, give it a like, sub to the channel, and hit the bell icon, and tell me what you thought of 91 Days.